Listen carefully. What you are about to do is no ordinary workout. This isn't about casually burning a few calories. This is about forging a new version of yourself, one drop of sweat at a time. Your enemy is fat, and it has overstayed its welcome. It clings to you, weighs you down and slows you. But today you fight back. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because time waits for no one, and your body won't change until you demand it. High-intensity interval training. HIIT is your weapon. It is swift, it is ruthless, and it does not care for the weak. In mere minutes, it ignites your metabolism, scorching fat long after the workout is done. It forces your heart, your lungs, and your muscles to battle against exhaustion, pushing you beyond what you thought was possible. You will feel the burn, your lungs will scream, your legs will beg you to stop. But stopping is not an option. Those who quit remain the same. Those who push through carve their victory into reality. This is where strength is built, not just in your body, but in your mind. Because when you embrace the pain, when you push through the suffering, you rise. Faster, stronger, leaner. This is how warriors are made. Now, the choice is yours. Stay where you are, or step forward into the fire and burn away the weakness. 5 seconds from now, your training begins. 5 seconds from now, you unleash the force within you. 3, 2, 1, go. A speech must carry a presence, a force that grips the listener from the first word and refuses to let go. Every sentence should land with weight, pressing urgency upon the listener's mind, making them feel as though action is not just a choice, but an absolute necessity. The tone must be commanding, not in the sense of aggression, but in certainty, in an unshakable belief that the words spoken are the absolute truth. There must be no hesitation, no room for doubt, only the firm voice of someone who knows exactly what must be done. Each phrase must build upon the last, forming a crescendo that does not allow indifference. It must be delivered with an almost cinematic intensity, as if the stakes are higher than mere exercise. This is not simply about fitness. This is a war against weakness, against limitation, against every excuse that has ever stood in the way. The audience must feel that failure is not just undesirable, it is unacceptable. There must be a rhythm to the delivery, a calculated pause before certain words to let the weight of the statement settle. The voice must not waver. It must hold steady, cutting through all hesitation, all self-doubt, leaving only the raw, undeniable truth that action is the only way forward. There must be an understanding of psychology embedded in every word. People do not simply change because they are told to. They change when they are made to feel, when they are pulled so deeply into a moment that they have no choice but to react. Emotion must be at the core of the speech, not a gentle encouragement, but an unrelenting force that refuses to let the listener walk away unchanged. The words must strike at the heart of insecurity, dismantle hesitation, and replace it with fire. A speech should feel like a scene from a film, the kind that makes the audience lean forward, gripping their seats, their pulse quickening as the intensity builds. The pacing must be controlled, beginning with a calm yet firm assertion, slowly growing in power until it reaches a peak, where the words seem to command action with the force of inevitability. The listener must not just hear, they must experience. Every sentence must be deliberate, carefully structured to maintain momentum. There must be no wasted words, no filler. Each phrase must serve a purpose, driving the listener closer to a single undeniable conclusion. The repetition of certain key ideas must be used as a hammer, striking the same spot again and again until it breaks through. The speech cannot afford to be passive. It must demand, it must command, it must leave no room for anything but immediate, decisive action. This is your work, and this is what you can do. There is a need to appeal to the primal instincts buried deep within. The desire to be stronger, faster, more resilient, to overcome, to conquer. These instincts exist in every person, though they often lie dormant beneath comfort and routine. The speech must awaken them, drag them to the surface, make them impossible to ignore. There is no room for softness, no room for hesitation, only the undeniable truth that change is won through struggle, through effort, through pushing beyond the limits imposed by fear and doubt. It must carry an air of inevitability. This is not a question of if, it is a certainty. The listener must feel as though the path laid before them is the only one that exists, the only one worth taking. There can be no option to turn back, no alternative that does not lead to regret. The speech must instill the feeling that to remain stagnant is to lose, and that moving forward is the only path to victory. Go. Language must be chosen carefully, avoiding anything weak, anything that suggests an option to refuse. It must be direct, powerful, and relentless. There can be no "if you try" or "if you want." The words must assume action, must expect it, must demand it. The moment hesitation is given space, the power of the speech weakens. Every sentence must be crafted to ensure that the only logical response is to act, and to act now. The choice of imagery is critical. This is not about casual improvement, this is about transformation. The fire of effort must be felt, the weight of resistance, the burning in the lungs, the shaking of the muscles. The listener must be made to feel these things before they even begin. They must already be in the moment, already experiencing the struggle, already embracing it. The words must pull them into the reality of the effort before they take their first step. There is a fine balance between challenge and encouragement. The listener must feel that they are being pushed, but also that they are capable of meeting the demand. Doubt must be shattered, replaced with certainty, with the knowledge that within them exists a power they have not yet fully realized. They must not feel small in the face of the challenge. They must feel as though they are rising to meet it, as though they are stepping into something greater than themselves. Breath control in delivery is paramount. Each pause, each shift in tone, each subtle change in cadence must serve a purpose. The voice should never be monotonous. It must rise and fall with the weight of the words, carrying the listener through peaks of intensity and moments of controlled stillness that build anticipation. The listener must be engaged, their attention held captive from the first word to the last. The speech should create a sense of inevitability. There is no question of whether they will act. They already have. The moment the words reach them, they are already in motion. The moment they hear the call, they have already answered. The speech does not ask for a decision, it makes the decision for them. It does not allow room for retreat. It ensures that once the listener has heard, they cannot unhear, cannot return to the state they were in before. They have been changed, and now they must move forward. Emotion must be woven into every sentence. Not soft, not gentle, but raw, powerful, undeniable. It must tap into something deeper than logic, something instinctual. People do not act because they are convinced. They act because they feel. The words must strike at the core of what it means to want more, to be more. They must ignite the fire of ambition, of determination, of relentless pursuit. The listener must walk away from the speech not simply inspired, but transformed. They must not just want to take action, they must feel as though they have no choice but to take action. The words must stay with them, echoing in their minds long after the speech has ended, driving them forward, refusing to let them rest until they have met the challenge. Every person who hears it must feel as though it was spoken directly to them. There is no audience, no crowd, only the speaker and the listener. The connection must be personal, as though these words were meant for them alone. They must feel seen, called out, challenged in a way that is undeniable. The speech is not just something they hear, it is something they experience, something they internalize, something that moves them, then grow. In the end, the speech is not about words, it is about action, it is about transformation, it is about stepping beyond limitations and into something greater. It is not a gentle push, it is a command. It is an undeniable, unstoppable force that leaves no room for anything but forward motion. It is the moment that separates who they were from who they will become. It is the fire that burns away hesitation, weakness, and fear, leaving only the unshakable certainty that now is the time to move, to fight, to win. There is no time to waste. the body you want, the strength you crave, the endurance you need, none of it will wait for you to be ready. The time is now, and there is no room for hesitation. Urgency is the force that separates those who succeed from those who merely wish for change. The body does not transform at its own convenience. It changes when you demand it, when you push it beyond comfort, when you refuse to accept anything less than your absolute best. The moment you understand this, the excuses disappear. The hesitation fades. There is no waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one you seize right now before it slips away. The longer you wait, the further you drift from your goal. Every second spent in hesitation is a second lost, a second that could have been spent forging the body you envision. The fat you carry, the limits you feel, the struggle you face, none of it will disappear on its own. It must be burned away through action, through movement, through effort, so intense that it leaves no room for doubt. There is no shortcut, no easy path. There is only the grind, the discipline, the will to keep going even when your body screams for relief. You have to act like your time is running out, because it is. Every day that passes is a day you will never get back. Your body will not wait. Your metabolism will not wait. Your strength will not wait. Everything you want is on the other side of effort, and every moment you delay is another step backward. You must move now, push now, fight now. The urgency is real, and those who refuse to acknowledge it will be left behind, trapped in a cycle of wishing, hoping, and waiting for a change that will never come. HIIT is not designed for those who hesitate. It is designed for those who act, those who step forward without fear, those who embrace discomfort because they know what lies beyond it. It is relentless, unforgiving, and it does not wait for permission. It demands your full effort, and it rewards only those who give everything. The science is simple. The harder you push, the greater the burn. The greater the burn, the faster the fat melts away. This is not a routine for the faint of heart. This is a war against every limitation you have ever accepted. Your body is built to adapt, but it will never do so if it is not forced. HIIT forces the change. It sends shock waves through your system, commanding your metabolism to rise, pushing your heart rate into overdrive, demanding more from every muscle fiber. There is no comfort zone here. There is no place to hide. There is only action, only forward motion, only the undeniable reality that change is earned through effort, and effort alone. You must approach this training with the urgency of a fighter stepping into the ring, knowing that every second counts. Your muscles will burn, your lungs will fight for air, your body will plead for rest, but you do not stop. You cannot stop, because stopping means staying the same, and that is not an option. Every interval is a battle, every rep a strike against the limits that have held you back. You do not wait for motivation. You do not wait for energy. You move. You act. You push through. People waste too much time waiting for the right moment, waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for everything to be perfect before they begin. But perfection is an illusion. The right moment is the moment you decide to act. Everything else is just noise, just distraction, just another excuse standing in the way of your goals. The only way forward is to take the step now, to throw yourself into the work with everything you have, to attack each movement as if your results depend on it, because they do. Your body does not change when it is comfortable. It changes when it is pushed to its limit, when it has no choice but to adapt, when it is forced to grow stronger, leaner, faster. That process does not happen over weeks or months. It happens in the seconds that you push harder than you did yesterday, in the moments that you refuse to give in the split-second decisions that determine whether you stop or whether you fight through the pain. Every HIIT session is a test, and the only way to pass is to give more than you think you have. This is not a casual workout. This is not something you do when it's convenient, when you feel like it, when the conditions are perfect. This is something you do because you refuse to settle. You refuse to be average. You refuse to let another day pass without moving closer to your goal. It is designed for those who take action, for those who do not need to be told twice, for those who know that the difference between success and failure is simply the willingness to start now, to push now, to go beyond now. Fat loss is not a passive process. It does not happen while you wait. It happens while you work. It happens in the seconds that your heart is pounding, in the moments that your muscles are trembling, in the final reps that you barely survive. Every breath you take, every drop of sweat that falls, every ounce of energy you pour into the workout is another step toward the body you want. There is no other way. There is no secret formula. There is only effort, only determination, only the simple truth that those who work hardest see the greatest results. You must train like time is against you, because it is. You must train like the results depend on what you do today, because they do. You must train like every movement matters, because it does. The urgency is real. The window is now. Every second wasted is a second you will never get back. The body you want is waiting, but it will not wait forever. It will belong to the one who claims it, the one who works for it, the one who refuses to hesitate for even a moment longer. Do not wait for the perfect plan. Do not wait for the right mood. Do not wait for anything. The only thing standing between you and success is time, and time does not stop moving. You must be faster. You must take control. You must act with the certainty of someone who knows that results are not given, they are taken. The next moment is already slipping away. The next second is already gone. You must move. Now. You must start now. You must push now. Nothing else matters. Your body will break before your mind does. The true battle in high-intensity training is not fought with muscles but with willpower. Fatigue is an illusion, a test, a barrier designed to separate those who are willing from those who are not. Your body will tell you to stop. Your legs will shake, your lungs will burn, your heart will pound against your ribcage demanding you slow down. That is the moment that defines you. That is where the real work begins. You are not weak, you are not limited. You are simply untested. And this is your test. Every movement, every second, every drop of sweat is a confrontation between your body and your mind. The body wants comfort. It seeks safety, the easy path, the familiar rhythms of habit and routine. The mind is the one that must refuse. It must rise above the body's complaints, silence the excuses, push past the thresholds of pain and exhaustion. Your body will follow wherever your mind leads, but only if you have the courage to command it. When the lactic acid builds, when your breath grows ragged, when the fatigue threatens to crush you, you must be the one to take control. You must be the one to demand more. Mental strength is the true foundation of physical transformation. Without it, the body folds under pressure, collapses at the first sign of struggle, quits long before it reaches its true limit. The body is built for survival. It will always choose the path of least resistance, unless forced otherwise. The mind must override that instinct, must command the muscles to keep pushing, must decide that failure is not an option. Every session is an opportunity to strengthen not just your frame, but your resolve. Every set, every rep, every sprint is a lesson in discipline. The pain is not an enemy, it is a teacher. It is the fire in which a stronger, faster, more capable version of yourself is forged. Most people never push themselves hard enough to see what they are truly capable of. They stop when it gets difficult, when discomfort sets in, when the burn becomes too much to bear. That is why they never change. That is why they remain stagnant, trapped in the same cycle of starting and stopping, trying and failing, hoping for results that never come. They train their bodies, but never train their minds. And without mental strength, there is no lasting success. Strength is not built in the moments of comfort. It is built in the moments where everything inside you is telling you to quit, and you keep going anyway. High-intensity interval training is designed to break you down, to push you to the point where quitting feels like the only option, to expose every weakness, every hesitation, every moment of doubt. It is not just a workout. It is a battle between who you are now and who you could become. The weak will surrender. The strong will fight through. You must decide which one you will be. When the timer is counting down, when your legs feel like they cannot take another step, when your heart is pounding so hard you can feel it in your throat, you must make a choice. Do you stop, or do you go one more round? You cannot afford to listen to weakness. You cannot allow the voice of doubt to take control. The moment you give in, even once, you teach yourself that quitting is acceptable. You create a habit of surrender. You let your mind believe that comfort is more important than progress, that relief is more valuable than strength. That is the beginning of failure. That is the moment where dreams are lost. The strongest athletes, the leanest bodies, the fastest runners, are not the ones with the best genetics or the perfect training plans. They are the ones who refuse to stop when every fiber of their being is begging them to. Training your mind is more than just pushing through one workout. It is building the habit of resilience, of mental endurance, of absolute refusal to accept mediocrity. It is carrying that strength with you in everything you do, applying it beyond fitness, using it to shape the way you approach every challenge in life. It is about becoming the person who does not break, who does not retreat, who does not let the difficulty of the task dictate their effort. You train for more than just physical results. You train for the ability to handle anything, to overcome every obstacle, to rise every time you fall. The pain will never go away. It will never get easier. The struggle will always be there waiting for you, daring you to rise above it. The only thing that changes is your ability to endure it. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. What once seemed like the breaking point becomes just another challenge to overcome. Your tolerance for discomfort grows. Your capacity for suffering expands. What used to stop you in your tracks now barely slows you down. That is the power of mental training. That is a transformation that truly matters. People look for motivation, but motivation is weak. It fades. It is unreliable. It cannot be trusted. Mental strength is what remains when motivation is gone, when you do not feel like training, when every muscle in your body is screaming for rest, and you still show up. Discipline is what carries you forward when inspiration runs dry. Every rep, every interval, every session is another brick in the foundation of that discipline. You are either reinforcing the habit of pushing forward or reinforcing the habit of giving up. There is no in-between. Every choice you make strengthens one or the other. You must learn to embrace suffering. The burn in your muscles, the ache in your chest, the exhaustion weighing down on your limbs. These are signs that you are doing the work that others refuse to do. They are proof that you are on the path to something greater. When you feel the pain setting in, you do not slow down. You do not hesitate. You lean into it. You welcome it. You understand that this is where growth happens, where strength is earned, where progress is made. The more you suffer now, the stronger you become later. Your body will always look for the easiest way out. It will try to convince you that you have done enough, that you have worked hard enough, that you deserve to stop. It will whisper excuses in your ear, offer you relief, tempt you with comfort. That is where your mind must take control. That is where you must override the instinct to stop, to slow down, to ease up. The difference between success and failure is the ability to silence that voice, to push beyond what feels possible, to refuse to let fatigue make decisions for you. There will be moments where you question yourself, where you wonder if you can keep going, where you doubt your ability to finish. Those moments are not weaknesses. They are opportunities. They are the moments where you prove to yourself what you are truly made of. The body follows the mind. If you believe you are done, you are done. If you believe you have more, you will find more. If you believe you can endure, you will endure. Strength is not about how much weight you can lift or how fast you can run. It is about how much suffering you can take and keep going. You must train with the mindset of someone who refuses to fail. You must approach every workout as if it is the last chance you will ever have to prove yourself. You must understand that every second counts, that every rep is a decision, that every drop of sweat is a testament to your determination. There are no easy days. There are no shortcuts. There is only the willingness to suffer, to embrace discomfort, to push past every limit until there is nothing left but progress. Your body will adapt, but only if your mind forces it to. If you stop when it gets hard, you will never change. If you give up when it hurts, you will never see results. You must be relentless. You must refuse to surrender. You must push when every part of you is begging to stop. This is the only way forward. This is how strength is built. This is how transformation happens. The mind commands, and the body obeys. Energy is everything. It is the fuel that powers movement, the force that drives effort, the key to sustaining intensity through every workout. Without energy, the body cannot perform, the muscles cannot endure, and the mind cannot push through the challenges ahead. Every drop of sweat, every rep, every sprint demands an output of energy that must be supplied and replenished with precision. The body is a machine, and like any machine, it requires the right fuel to function at its highest capacity. Training without properly fueling the body is like trying to race with an empty tank, a futile effort destined to fall short of true potential. Nutrition is not just about eating. It is about preparation, strategy, and understanding the demands placed on the body. The right foods can mean the difference between exhaustion and sustained performance, between sluggish movements and explosive power, between a body that struggles and a body that thrives. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats each play a role in this intricate system of energy production, ensuring that every cell receives what it needs to function at peak levels. The body is always working, always burning, always using the nutrients it has been given. The question is whether those nutrients are enough to match the level of effort being demanded. Carbohydrates are the primary source of immediate energy. They are converted into glucose, fueling the muscles, powering the brain, and providing the necessary push to sustain high-intensity training. Without them, performance suffers, endurance fades, and fatigue sets in much sooner than it should. The key is to consume the right kinds of carbohydrates at the right times, ensuring a steady supply of energy without causing crashes or unnecessary spikes in blood sugar. This whole grains, fruits, and complex carbohydrates provide long-lasting fuel, keeping the body running efficiently through every grueling workout. Protein is the foundation of recovery and strength. Every movement in HIIT breaks down muscle fibers, causing microscopic tears that must be repaired and rebuilt stronger than before. Without adequate protein, the body struggles to recover. Muscle growth is stunted and performance declines. The balance between effort and recovery is delicate, and protein intake ensures that this balance remains in favor of growth, rather than breakdown. Lean meats, eggs, dairy, plant-based proteins, and supplementation when necessary all contribute to keeping the body in a state of constant repair and improvement. The harder the training, the more protein is required to sustain the level of output demanded. Fats are the long-term energy reserve. They provide a slow-burning source of fuel that supports endurance, hormone regulation, and overall metabolic function. The body taps into fat stores when glycogen levels deplete, ensuring that energy remains available even during extended sessions. Healthy fats from sources like nuts, seeds, avocados, and fish contribute to overall health, reducing inflammation and supporting joint function, both of which are critical when engaging in high-impact training. Neglecting fat intake weakens the body's ability to sustain long-duration efforts, making every session feel heavier and more difficult than it should be. Hydration is the silent force behind performance. Every cell in the body relies on water to function, to transport nutrients, to regulate temperature, and to keep muscles contracting efficiently. Dehydration leads to fatigue, cramping, dizziness, and a dramatic drop in endurance. Sweat drains the body of essential fluids, and those fluids must be replaced continuously to maintain peak performance. Water alone is often not enough, as electrolytes play a critical role in maintaining balance. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium work together to keep the body firing on all cylinders, preventing muscle fatigue and keeping energy levels high throughout every workout. Pre-workout nutrition sets the stage for everything that follows. The body needs fuel before it can perform, and what is consumed in the hours leading up to training determines how much energy is available when it matters most. A combination of carbohydrates and protein ensures that muscles have the glycogen needed for explosive power, while also providing amino acids to prevent excessive breakdown during intense effort. You can spend more hours lifting weights than you can sitting in the bus park. The timing of this meal is crucial, as eating too soon before training can cause sluggishness, while eating too far in advance can lead to depleted energy stores before the session even begins. The balance is individual, but the principle remains the same. Prepare the body before demanding performance from it. Post-workout nutrition is just as critical as pre-workout. The body is depleted, muscles are fatigued, and glycogen stores are drained. This is the moment when recovery begins, the window where proper nutrition determines how quickly and effectively the body rebuilds. A combination of protein and fast-digesting carbohydrates accelerates this process, delivering the necessary nutrients to muscles when they are most receptive. Insight 3. Delaying post-workout nutrition prolongs recovery, weakens performance in subsequent sessions, and reduces the overall effectiveness of training. The work does not end when the last rep is completed. The recovery process is just as important as the effort itself. Meal timing is not just about pre- and post-workout. It is about consistency, about ensuring that the body never reaches a state of depletion where performance suffers. Eating at regular intervals keeps metabolism high, prevents energy crashes, and supports sustained effort throughout the day. Skipping meals, undereating, or consuming the wrong balance of nutrients leads to inconsistency in training results, making progress harder to track and maintain. Energy is not something that can be stored indefinitely. It must be supplied continuously, in the right amounts and in the right forms. Supplements can support but never replace real nutrition. Many turn to powders, pills, and energy drinks in an attempt to compensate for poor dietary choices. But nothing replaces whole foods. Supplements serve to enhance what is already a strong foundation, filling in gaps where necessary, but never acting as a substitute for real fuel. Protein powders, amino acids, creatine, and pre-workout formulas all have their place, but only when used correctly. The mistake is relying on them instead of focusing on whole, nutrient-dense foods that provide everything the body needs to function at its best. The relationship between diet and performance is undeniable. Every decision made in the kitchen is reflected in the gym, in the quality of movement, in the endurance of muscles, in the ability to push through fatigue. Poor nutrition leads to poor performance, inconsistent energy levels, slow recovery, and lackluster results. The body requires care, attention, and precision in fueling strategies. Eating mindlessly, neglecting hydration, ignoring nutrient balance. All of these mistakes lead to stagnation, to frustration, to wasted effort that could have been avoided with a simple commitment to fueling properly. Discipline in nutrition is no different from discipline in training. It is a commitment, a mindset, a refusal to settle for anything less than what is optimal. Just as workouts are approached with intensity and focus, so too must diet be approached with the same level of dedication. Consistency is what produces results. Short-term fixes, crash diets, and erratic eating patterns only serve to undermine progress. The body thrives on routine, on stability, on an unbroken chain of good decisions that lead to sustained high performance. The effort spent in the gym is only as valuable as the effort spent in fueling that effort. Training hard without eating right is like trying to build a fortress without bricks. It does not matter how much effort is put in if the foundation is weak. Strength, endurance, and power all begin with the nutrients that enter the body. Without them, progress is slow, performance is inconsistent, and fatigue sets in far too soon. Energy is not just something that is felt in a workout. It is something that is built every day, with every meal, with every choice to prioritize what the body needs over what is convenient. Those who take control of their nutrition take control of their results. Those who neglect it will always be chasing progress they cannot catch. Rest is not a weakness. It is not an excuse. It is not a sign of laziness. It is the most overlooked weapon in the arsenal of strength, endurance, and fat loss. Without it, muscles fail, energy depletes, and progress slows to a crawl. The body does not grow in the gym. It grows in the hours that follow, in the moments of stillness, in the deep sleep that allows every cell to repair and rebuild. The strongest bodies are not those that work endlessly without pause. They are the ones that understand the delicate balance between pushing forward and allowing recovery to do its work. Training is only half of the equation. Recovery completes the process. It is the difference between reaching potential and breaking down before the finish line. High-intensity interval training is relentless. It demands explosive power, rapid movement, and sustained effort that pushes the body to its limits. Every sprint, every jump, every repetition tears muscle fibers apart, floods the bloodstream with lactic acid, and depletes glycogen reserves. The body is left in a state of shock, struggling to recover, to rebuild, to prepare for the next session. Without adequate rest, that recovery never happens. It's sponge results, we are told, not necessarily the case, and it may be as difficult to rebuild as it is to keep. Instead of becoming stronger, the body becomes weaker. Instead of burning fat efficiently, it clings to energy stores out of desperation. Instead of progressing, it stalls, fights back, and eventually shuts down. Sleep is the foundation of recovery. It is where hormones reset, where tissues repair, where the nervous system recalibrates to prepare for another round of battle. Growth hormone is released in the deepest stages of sleep, accelerating muscle recovery, restoring energy levels, and ensuring that the body is ready for the next challenge. Testosterone production thrives in a well-rested body, fueling strength, endurance, and fat metabolism. When cortisol, the stress hormone that sabotages recovery, diminishes when sleep is prioritized. A body deprived of rest is a body that is constantly in a state of stress, inflamed, overworked, and incapable of reaching peak performance. Every hour of lost sleep is an hour stolen from recovery. Every restless night is a step backward in progress. Overtraining is a real enemy. Pushing too hard without allowing time to recover leads to burnout, injury, and a complete breakdown of performance. Muscles that are not given time to heal remain inflamed, tight, and unable to generate maximum force. The nervous system becomes overworked, causing sluggishness, poor coordination, and a decline in overall effort. Fatigue builds, motivation fades, and the mind starts searching for excuses to quit. A body that is never allowed to recover will eventually force itself to stop. It will refuse to move at the same intensity, rebel against the demands placed upon it, and shut down until proper rest is restored. Active recovery is not the same as complete inactivity. Rest days do not mean sitting still, doing nothing, and waiting for the next session. They are opportunities to move in ways that promote healing rather than exhaustion. Stretching, mobility work, light cardio, yoga, and even simple walks keep blood flowing, delivering oxygen and nutrients to sore muscles, flushing out toxins, and keeping the body primed for future effort. The worst mistake is believing that doing more always means getting better. True progress comes from understanding when to push and when to step back, when to train and when to recover, when to demand more and when to allow the body to repair itself. Nutrition plays a critical role in recovery. The body cannot rebuild without the proper materials. Protein supplies the amino acids needed to reconstruct damaged muscle fibers, making them stronger and more resilient. Carbohydrates replenish glycogen stores, ensuring that energy is available when it is needed most. Healthy fats support hormone production, reducing inflammation, and keeping the body in an optimal state for performance. Micronutrients like magnesium, potassium, and zinc aid in muscle relaxation, repair, and immune function. Without proper nutrition, the body remains stuck in a constant state of breakdown, struggling to keep up with the demands being placed on it. Recovery is not just about resting. It is about fueling the body correctly, so that it can emerge stronger from every session. Hydration is often overlooked in the recovery process. Every drop of sweat lost during intense training must be replaced. Dehydration leads to muscle cramps, decreased endurance, and prolonged recovery times. Water is the vehicle that transports nutrients to cells, removes waste products, and keeps the entire system functioning at its best. Electrolytes play a crucial role in maintaining fluid balance, preventing excessive fatigue, and supporting nerve function. A body that is not properly hydrated cannot repair itself efficiently. It remains sluggish, inflamed, and prone to injury. Drinking enough water is not optional. It is a necessity for optimal recovery and sustained performance. The mind must recover just as much as the body. HIIT is not just a physical battle, it is a mental war, a relentless push against doubt, exhaustion, and the voice that constantly whispers to slow down. The mind needs time to reset, to refocus, to prepare for the next challenge. Mental fatigue is just as real as physical fatigue. Burnout does not just come from sore muscles. It comes from pushing too hard without giving the mind a break. Relaxations, meditation, mindfulness, and even simple moments of stillness play a role in sustaining long-term motivation. Without mental recovery, training becomes a chore rather than a challenge, a burden rather than an opportunity. Rest is strategic, it is planned, it is built into the process with as much intention as the workouts themselves. The best athletes, the strongest bodies, the fastest transformations all understand that pushing endlessly without pause leads to failure. Recovery is not a sign of weakness. It is the key to longevity, sustainability, and continuous progress. A well-rested body performs better, burns fat more efficiently, builds muscle faster, and maintains a higher level of endurance. Every session is only as good as the recovery that follows. Every ounce of effort put into training must be matched by an equal commitment to rest. The body adapts during rest, not during work. Muscles do not grow while lifting weights, they grow after, during the hours of repair and regeneration. Fat loss is optimized when stress levels are managed, when cortisol is controlled, when the body is given the chance to reset. Endurance improves when the nervous system is not constantly on the edge of exhaustion. Performance increases when sleep, hydration, nutrition, and active recovery are treated as priorities rather than afterthoughts. 8. Training hard without recovering correctly is like running on empty, constantly pushing without ever refueling, demanding more while providing less. Eventually the system breaks down. Understanding the importance of recovery is what separates those who last from those who fade. The impatient chase results by doing more, pushing harder, ignoring the warning signs until injury or burnout forces them to stop. The disciplined understand that progress is a cycle, a balance of effort and recovery, a continuous loop of breaking down and rebuilding stronger. They do not fear rest, they embrace it, they respect it. They use it as a tool, a weapon, a necessary part of the journey. The body is capable of extraordinary things when given the time to heal, when treated with care, when trained and recovered with equal intensity. The strongest bodies, the leanest physiques, the most powerful athletes all understand one truth. Recovery is not optional. It is the force that turns effort into results, fatigue into strength, struggle into success. High-intensity interval training demands more than just physical effort. It requires mental strength, resilience, and an unbreakable mindset. Every second of every set is a battle between the body's limits and the mind's willpower. It is not just about moving fast, lifting heavy, or pushing through exhaustion. It is about the relentless drive to keep going when every fiber of muscle screams to stop. The body follows where the mind leads. If the mind is weak, the body will fail. If the mind is strong, the body will endure. It is not about waiting for motivation to arrive. It is about creating discipline that thrives even in the absence of motivation. Those who succeed in transforming their bodies do not rely on fleeting bursts of inspiration. They forge an unshakable mindset that keeps them moving forward regardless of how they feel. Pain is inevitable. Fatigue is certain. The mind will be tested in ways that push beyond the comfort zone, beyond the easy way out, beyond the excuses that creep in when effort reaches its peak. Every interval, every sprint, every jump is an opportunity to build mental toughness. When the heart pounds, when the lungs burn, when the legs feel like lead, that is the moment where strength is either built or broken. Weakness does not come from a lack of ability. It comes from giving in too soon. The moment discomfort sets in, the mind searches for an exit, for a reason to quit, for permission to slow down. The strongest individuals silence that voice. They refuse to negotiate with their own limitations. They train their minds to push past the barrier where others would. There is a difference between pain and weakness. Pain is a signal that the body is being challenged. Weakness is surrendering to that signal without resistance. Growth happens at the edge of comfort, in the moments when the muscles tremble, when the breath is short, when the body begs for relief. Strength is built in suffering. Endurance is forged in discomfort. Fat loss is accelerated when the body is forced to adapt to extreme effort. It is designed to take the body to that threshold over and over again, testing how much intensity can be endured before breaking. Those who train their minds to embrace the discomfort, to lean into the challenge, to see struggle as fuel rather than failure, are the ones who achieve the results others only dream of. Doubt is the enemy. It creeps in when exhaustion takes hold, when results do not come as quickly as expected, when the road feels too long. The mind must be conditioned to fight against that doubt, to replace every negative thought with a commitment to push forward. The body does not control the outcome, the mind does. Every successful transformation, every personal best, every breakthrough begins in the mind, long before it is reflected in the body. Those who believe they are strong become strong. Those who believe they are capable achieve the impossible. The ones who doubt themselves, who hesitate, who allow fear to dictate their effort, will always fall short of their potential. Confidence is not given. It is earned through repetition, through proving to oneself over and over again that quitting is not an option. Focus is the weapon that separates those who achieve from those who struggle. Every workout must be approached with intensity, with purpose, with an unshakable determination to give everything in that moment. Distractions have no place in training. The mind cannot wander. The effort cannot be half-hearted. Every rep must have intention. Every sprint must have maximum effort. Every second must be used to move closer to the goal. Those who train with focus, who remove excuses, who shut out the noise of doubt and hesitation, achieve results at a level that others cannot comprehend. They do not merely go through the motions. They attack every session as if it is their last. They refuse to waste time. They refuse to settle for anything less than their best. The mind is the greatest muscle in the body. It controls fatigue. It controls endurance. It controls whether one more rep is completed or whether the session ends early. HIIT does not reward the strongest. It rewards the most determined. The mind dictates effort. The mind determines success. Those who master their minds master their results. When the pain sets in, when the sweat pours, when every part of the body feels like collapsing, the mind must step in and say, "Not yet, not now, not until every ounce of effort has been given." Champions are not made in comfort. They are made in suffering, in struggle, in the moments when everything says stop, but the mind says, "Keep going." Fear is an illusion. It is the greatest obstacle standing between where one is and where one wants to be. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of pushing too hard. None of it is real. It is the mind's way of protecting itself from effort, from risk, from stepping into the unknown. Those who embrace fear, who look it in the eye and refuse to be controlled by it, are the ones who achieve greatness. She thoughtfully understands that fear is nothing more than a barrier that must be shattered. They refuse to let hesitation define them. They move forward, even when they are unsure, even when they are exhausted, even when every part of them wants to stop. The mind must be trained to overpower fear, to silence doubt, to push through discomfort without hesitation. The mind does not care about limitations. It only cares about what it has been trained to believe. If it believes the body is tired, the body will feel exhausted. If it believes another sprint can be completed, the body will find the energy to keep moving. The mind must be conditioned to expect more, to demand more, to push beyond what was once thought possible. Every workout is an opportunity to break past old limits, to redefine what is possible, to prove that weakness is nothing more than a temporary state that can be conquered. The body is capable of extraordinary things when the mind refuses to accept mediocrity. Discipline is the foundation of mental toughness. It is the decision to show up when motivation is gone, to give full effort when no one is watching, to stay committed when results take longer than expected. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, no matter how hard, no matter how exhausting, no matter how inconvenient. The ones who succeed in burning fat, in building strength, in transforming their bodies, are not the ones who wait for motivation. They are the ones who train their minds to be unbreakable, to be relentless, to refuse anything less than maximum effort. Mental toughness is built in the small moments. It is built when waking up early to train despite exhaustion. It is built when pushing through one more round, when quitting seems easier. It is built when refusing to give in to doubt, fear, or hesitation. Every battle won in the mind is a battle won in the body. Every time weakness is ignored, strength is built. Every time hesitation is overpowered, confidence grows. It is not just about burning fat. It is about forging a mindset that can withstand any challenge, any obstacle, any level of intensity. The body follows where the mind leads. The mind must be trained to be unbreakable.